It's Tuesday and the program is Tuesday Live tonight. I am Omini Udan. Intensified efforts in tackling security challenges in Kogi State in advancing good governance for the common good of citizenry, that will be in the second leg of discussions on NT Tuesday Live tonight. But first is the milestone achievements with the Youth Employment and Social Support Operations, YESO, which is state component of safety net in uplifting and empowering the people for meaningful development. The program is impacting positively on the citizenry and is operational in more than 18 states that include Abia, Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Ekiti, and Cross River State, just to mention a few, all geared at meeting the people's yearnings and development. Who are the major beneficiaries? What is the place for sustainability of the program? Answers and more after this background report by Abdusalam Jibril.
Implementing the first pilot project or pilot stage where we train about 2,466 youths.
Young people all over the world are seen to be key drivers of societal transformation. Owing to their tremendous agility, courage, and creativity, they are priceless stakeholders in any growth and development agenda. In Nigeria, despite lack of opportunities and huge infrastructural deficits, Nigerian youths, against all odds, are stimulating the economy and contributing to national development through hard work and ingenuity. In the agricultural, technological, and entertainment sectors, many Nigerian youths are excelling and carving a niche for themselves. However, the success story is not all encompassing, as the state of many Nigerian youths today have become worrisome. Gainful employment has become a tall order, and many have resorted to crimes, drugs and substance abuse, and all manner of vices. According to the National Population Commission, about half of Nigerians' population is made up of youths. Sadly, however, as the population grows, so does the unemployment rate. Available data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that as of the third quarter in 2018, 55.4% of young people were either underemployed or unemployed, compared to the 52.6% in the same period of the previous year. Over the years, successive governments have made several efforts to reposition youths as the powerhouse of development. But with millions of ill-equipped graduates thrust into the labor market annually, without requisite plan of meaningful economic absorption, seems adding more to the unemployment cycle. No doubt, no nation will experience development when the multitude of its population that constitutes the largest percentage are idle and ineffective. Investing in human development is key by designing an integrated and implementable policy framework targeting the youthful energy for national development. Perhaps with this, current demographic structures will become the nation's future assets. Knowledge, not oil, will certainly be the future of Nigeria in the 21st century.
Gains on youth employment and development, the focus of Tuesday Live on the first leg tonight. Tuesday Live is available for you. It's an audience participatory program. At some point, the lines will be open and you'll be through to make calls, make inputs, raise concerns, ask questions, and they'll be addressed. Also on social media, our Twitter handle is at Tuesday Live NTA. Send in your tweets. As much as time will allow, we'll take your tweets and your concerns will be addressed. And when we do this, mostly for those phoning in, tune down the volume of your television set and ask your questions. Doing this will avoid the echo or holdback during the course of the program. Welcome to the program once again. I'm being joined tonight by Mrs. Hajara Sami, Acting National Coordinator of the Youth Employment and Social Support Operations, YESO. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Roslyn Sylvia Olaomi, Focal Person, Skills for Job, National Directorate of Employment. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Stephen.
Zadna Hassan Boguma, is the State Coordinator, State Operation and Coordinating Unit, Borno State. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Adegboyega Adetokun, State Coordinator, State Operation and Coordinating Unit, Kwara State. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Good evening, very
Beautiful. Are we set to go?
Yes, set to go.
Beautiful, because Nigerians will be there to ask you questions and you're there to also talk with them. That's the beauty about the program tonight. Well, let me start with you. Yeso. Where are we with Yeso? In the opening, we talked about a couple of states. Have you gone beyond here? Are you still in the first phase? Where are we with Yeso?
Currently, Yeso is implementing its programs in 17 states, 2 of which joined just recently, that is Abia and Kebbi State. But the initial states were 8, thereafter 12 more joined. Okay, we're in Cross River, Abia, Oyo, Ondo, Ekiti, Kwara, Kogi, Oshun, Niger, Sokoto, Yobe, Borno, Taraba, Adamawa, Gombe, and Bauchi State. And of course, Niger. Did I mention Niger? Yeah. Yeso is implementing 4 components, and we are about closing on the project in June 2020, that is next year. Basically, the program is about implementation of 3 interventions and putting in place a social register, strengthening social safety net systems, by which register of poor and the vulnerable is put in place by the different states, and then it is consolidated at the federal level. And we also have the register for IDPs, which is the Unified Register of Beneficiaries, that is being consolidated at the different northeast states of the country. And all our intervention beneficiaries, all our beneficiaries are being mined from these 2 registers. We don't go outside the registers. So far, we have started seeing results, and we are recording achievements in the different components that I have mentioned.
Okay. You have given us a generic picture about Nigeria, but there's a problem. This program is meant for Nigerians,
Yes.
and it's not supposed to have a political coloration, right?
Not at all.
We have a tendency where if you go to states, for instance, let me use just an instance I'm using now, say Rivers, Cross River, Delta, they are PDP states. Kogi, Borno, Gombe, they are APC states. Is there a way maybe this program is being influenced by the political coalition of the states? And it affects Nigerians? Because if it does this, it affects Nigerians.
Not at all, because the concept of the program is to address the biting poverty at the grassroots level, and it has been made clear
For everyone.
For everyone.
Not minding
And
which political
poverty,
party you
yes,
belong to.
poverty has no political party. It has no religion. It cuts across every aspect of the country, and so we've been made to understand, and we have made our governments understand that this program is for the poor and the vulnerable, and that this time around a manager doesn't sit and arbitrarily select or decide who benefits from Yeso program, and that is why the first component, it's putting in place a register for the poor and the vulnerable groups, and this register is determined, who goes on this register is determined at the grassroots by the communities themselves.
Is the integrity of the register tamper-proof?
I wouldn't say 100% tamper-proof, but we do everything humanly possible to make sure that elite capture is minimized as much as possible, to make sure that there is social inclusiveness, to make sure that the leakages that have been identified or associated with previous programs are well taken care of. So the communities themselves decide, using their own local definition of poverty, based on which, a criteria is defined by them, and they are able to identify. What our trained officers do is to help facilitate these communities, to identify these households that, based on their own understandings, know that these households can barely feed. They can't send their children to school, So all of this is being understood by whoever sits to listen to how we come up with the social register.
Okay, I ask all this question because government means well for everybody, but at the point of implementation, you find these gaps, and at the end of the day, it's as though government does not mean well. Let me move on to NDE. I believe you're collaborating with YESO.
Yes.
So if I ask you now, collaboration with YESO, graphically, what is the magnitude of youth engagement
now
countrywide?
Now for YESO, as she has said, there are different components of YESO, and the skills for job is a component which ND is facilitating. And as we are talking, we have over 25,000 in training in 17 states. Youths from poor and vulnerable households, they were all mined from the social register, and they are going through the first level skills training, which lasts for 3 months. They started since October, and we are still on. So by end of November to December, they will finish the first level skills training, and they will now be attached to private sector operators for internship. They will be there for 6 months internship. So the unemployment rate among these poor and vulnerable youths at the grassroots level is being addressed by these skills for job. And what is skills for job? It just means that providing skills training that will translate to job. And it will now improve the livelihood of these youths from poor and vulnerable households.
I understand what you mean, mind. But when you say we mind them from the social register, let the public know what's the meaning of all this.
Selected.
Oh, selected.
Selected from the social register.
Okay, now follow up. Now, I ask this question against the backdrop that Nigeria recently hosted the International Labour Organizations as part of the event marking its centenary. What did I always see that made Nigeria the first country outside Europe to host this event?
Because Nigeria is a great country. We have so many potentials, and our youths are well endowed. They are hardworking. They are resilient. They are, open to acquire these skills. Once they are given the skills, they are ready to go in for training and improve their lives.
Okay. Well, if you are just joining us, the program tonight is Tuesday Live, and our first leg, we have 2 issues today, is gains on youth employment and development in Nigeria, and the focal agency is YESO. YESO is the Youth Employment and Social Support Operation YESO in Nigeria. Now, I'll come to the states. Back to you. What testimonies? Let me ask you now. You, in your opening thoughts, you talked about it will close next year, but you have results. Can you give me back to back 2 states testimonies of results you have so far to show that government investment in all this is not just lip service?
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to play some beneficiary feedback, but from field and what we're seeing is that is before we undertake the formal outcome evaluation, which is going to be done very soon. So what we are seeing in the field is that beneficiaries of Skills for Job are establishing their own businesses. Some of them are being retained by the private sector organizations that they were deployed to be mentored. A lot of them are also forming groups and beginning to, start small businesses, The public work fair, the same thing. We are seeing beneficiaries that never had any source of income beginning to open kiosks in their communities, beginning to sell second-hand clothing in their communities. We have seen IDPs, after receiving their first tranche, 30,000 naira per household, they're beginning to trade, do fish bonds, beginning to sell, crop, cereals and other food items. That is what we're seeing come from the field. We're seeing them, owning tailoring, sewing machines. We're seeing them engage themselves in so many aspects of livelihoods, which is quite encouraging.
Let me take on Zana. Zana, you're the state coordinator, state operations and coordinating unit, Borno State. Is it for NDE or YESO?
YESO.
YESO. But you are working in collaboration with NDE too. So can you give us, what's the update from Borno State? And Borno State is very, very critical to Nigeria now.
Yeah. In fact, YESO started in 2017 in Borno, and as you said, Borno is very, very critical because of the magnitude of the crisis that we have faced as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. In fact, when we started the exercise there, we had registered well over 103,000 households in our unified register of beneficiaries, IDPs both in camps and host communities. And equally, when the three components started to be operational, the TGT, that is targeted grant transfer, the IDPs benefited from the first tranche of 30,000 naira each. And as that I'm speaking to you now, we have paid about 64,000 households with this 30,000 naira. And we are entering another stage of a special grant for aged and the...
When you say households, how do you mean?
Households?
Yes, well, because this program is meant for youths.
It is meant for youth as well as for the IDPs and poor and vulnerable. Okay. Yes, so it cut across all these categories of...
That's the clarification needed.
Yes, they are the beneficiaries. So URB is purely for IDPs, while in the social register we have people that can be mined for any intervention by the agencies that will come for humanitarian services in the state. So for NDE, as they said, we have SPOJ, but we are just starting because our beneficiaries were being trained and it is taken out, that is mined from the 7,000 registered poor and vulnerable in 6 local governments. So, so far in Borno, we have achieved quite a lot because we have changed the lives of so many of our IDPs as well as of the other beneficiaries that were poor and vulnerable. Because as I said earlier, so many things had happened before the advent of this operation. But since we started in Borno, in fact, our people are now having good things coming to them.
So does this cut across the sectors?
No, it has cut across all sectors. Yeah.
So now if the national coordinator calls you, Zana, we need 5 from the agricultural value chain, 10 from this value chain, like that, can you just handpick and send them?
That is the beauty of having a register. Because once you enter into the data set, you can get whatever that you want for intervention. So there is no problem, because that is why we have this register, both at the single register and the unified register of beneficiaries. But our responsibility is towards the IDPs as well as towards the poor and vulnerable, because when you hear the mention of PWF, it is meant for those that were not educated. Literally, they were dropouts, so they will be mined from the registers for labor-intensive jobs, of which they are being paid monthly stipends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's proceed to Adegboyega. You're the state coordinator, state operations, Kwara State.
Yes.
Let me take you from the perspective of gender discrimination, gender balance. If I take, say maybe a content analysis or involvement analysis of youth, young girls, youth, young men, women, men, all that, what's your update? Is there a balance or there's a discrimination?
Thank you very much. You see, let me start from where my national coordinator, he mentioned the issue of a single register. You see, other years, so it is so fine that we start with what we call geographical targeting. And geographical targeting has to do with poverty map of each state. In Kwara State, we have a poverty map in Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. So what we do is to write the ministry to give us the poverty
Was it
map.
there before the program?
Before the program. It has been there. It's been updated every year by Ministry of Planning in Kwara State. So when the program started, we have to go to the ministry. In some states, it can be with Bureau of Statistics, depending on the state. But in Kwara State, is with Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. So we brought them, and they gave us a copy. This was cleared by the World Bank. The poverty map means that each of the local governments have been ranked according to their poverty standard. So this poverty map is what we use. Once we get the poverty map, we now pick the local government based on their poverty level. We now go to the local government. This is the beauty of it. We do advocacy visits to the local government chairman and all the officials of local government, their secretariat, and tell them that the government is interested in reducing poverty by addressing to the core poor, the poorest of the poor. And based on that, we are the local government staff and the chairman will now use their criteria of identifying poverty in their local government to identify the communities. It can be social services, banking, education, where they don't have. Based on that now, the local government chairman will now send that list to us, and the indices they use. On the letterhead of local government, they send it off to us. We get clearance, and we now move to that local government. That's the next stage, to that community. At that point, the local government will give us the community development officers, staff of the local government, because the local government must have buy-in to that program. And because it's community-based targeting, the community owns the program, just like my national coordinator said. At the community level, I'm just trying to summarize because of our time, we have what we call focus group discussion. At the focus group discussion, this is where everybody comes in. There will be sensitization in the community. Then we meet at a very large place. The community will determine the time we shall meet them, the place, and the venue. So at that point, we disaggregate them. Elderly men, elderly women, youth. Based on this community A, what are the signs or characteristics, indices of poverty in this community? Then they will mention it in different groups. At that particular group, this is where the beauty of YESO. At each group, after mentioning it, it can be 5, 6 people that cannot send their children to school.
To cut a long story short,
Yes.
In what way has this impacted other people in Kwara State?
Thank you very much. We have covered out the 16 local governments in Kwara State 4 times. We're on the 5th round now. And so many interventions have selected from the register. Skills for job, they have selected, just as my colleague said, in Kwara State. Ivy Tech in Ajashe, they have selected, they are training people, International Vocational Center in Ajashe, from the register. Then, the ND, they are doing fantastic work in Kwara State. They have selected, they are in the 4th round in Kwara State. They are now training the beneficiaries in College of Education in Ilorin presently. They trained the last one at College of Education, Lafiagi. So it's really beneficial. And because they are from poor background, the last one that were trained in Lafiagi, the Kwara State government provided buses for them from Ilorin to go and pick them from Kaima, so that they will be able to participate fully and take them to Lafiagi. So all the zones, the state government provided vehicle for them, and they are very, very happy for it.
But I hope you're not involving them by coercing to say, okay, if you don't belong to a party A or party B? I'm just asking.
No.
These are testimonies
No.
we have.
No, you see, the beauty of it is that everybody in the state belongs to the governor. So we are all children of the governor, citizens of the state.
I have my reasons for asking.
I know.
Beautiful.
Because
so you don't crucify me.
No. I don't ask you. Everyone. Once you are a Kwaran, you are taken care of.
Okay, back to the national coordinator. With all what we've heard, wonderful testimonies. Now, with the current dispensation, Nigerian government is talking about consume Nigeria, make Nigeria, use Nigeria. Don't do. If, for instance, the federal government now calls you up, say, okay, national coordinator, we need 2,000 youths to boost a particular sector locally. Are you ready?
Oh yes, we are ready.
Can you prove it?
Yes, with our Skills for Job beneficiaries. These are beneficiaries that have been exposed to...
Across the sectors?
Across the sector, yeah. They have been exposed to different skill sets across the sector and have been able to identify a particular sector, that they are interested in and deployed to that institution that can give them 6 months training in that sector. Okay, after which, upon graduation, they are made to sit for certification exam, get certified on that skill, and eventually they'll be given starter packs to establish their small businesses. So we have beneficiaries that have graduated and are already practicing the skills that they have learned. That is part of the objective that we intend to achieve on YESU. And so we have them so many. Currently, as she has said, we have over 25,000 acquiring this skill. Well, 594 have already graduated and are practicing the skills. So we have them.
Okay. Our focus tonight is gains on youth employment and development in Nigeria through the Youth Employment and Social Support Operation YESO. And the lines will be open soon, and when the lines are opened, you make your calls. Where our Twitter handle is also opened. You can join the conversation via our Twitter handle, which is at NTA, at TuesdayLive NTA. Now, moving on, madam. You have trained. Let me ask this. Teaching skills is one thing. Having access to necessary equipment is another. What is the Nigerian situation?
Nigerian situation or the situation under YESU?
Under YESU.
Skills for job. Yeah.
How about you overwhelm you?
Yes, no, not at all. Actually, YESU is a program that is participatory. It involves so many stakeholders, and each stakeholder has his roles and responsibility. It's one of the achievements of YESU, having to deal with private sector organizations, having to deal with state government agencies, having to deal with third-party monitors who are from NGOs or CSOs, having to engage different sectors of the society to be part of this program. So really, we are indeed on course. Okay. Yeah. We are on course and we are achieving our targets, even though it is a long-term goal, but the results are showing.
Okay, let me ask you a question. A locally based industry. So, okay, look, we can source skill from through YESU, and they come to you and say, look, we have this segment, I want to employ this set of youth to assist us boost made in Nigerian products. Call it any product. Can you boast of that?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Like what kind of products do you have on display currently?
In fact, I have intentionally worn the
Made by
slippers.
Nigerian youths.
Yes, I have intentionally worn the slippers, and I have to show it to the audience. It is made by one of the beneficiaries in Bida local government. I have worn the slippers.
Bida, which state is this?
Niger State. For over 1.5 years, and I have never. At first, when I bought it, I wore it continuously for about 2 months. But up till today, I have not taken it even for any form of mending or regluing of any part of the slippers. It's made by...
This is one example.
Yes.
Do you have other examples?
No, I
You
don't
can just
have.
tell us. Just tell us. Yes.
Yeah, we have beads and jewelries. We have those involved in
Fashion
designing. They are making bags. They are making clothes.
Souvenir.
We have IT. We have hospitality industry. We have catering. We have, name it, a lot of carpentry.
Yes.
We have auto mechanic. We have agricultural.
Let me take on Rosalind now. Sustainability is key to all this.
Yes.
Now, YESO, in collaboration with NDA, you engage youths through the state coordinators. And at the end, maybe because you were giving them some stipend at the end of the month, the stipend stops. And the will is not there. Have you assessed the sustainability, or is it that you lose them after the stipend from YESO stops?
We have a various exit strategy in place.
We want to hear that.
Okay. Now, if we look back, the first set of beneficiaries of Skills for Job, I remember that Ekiti State government provided starter pack for I think about 76 of them that finished during the first set. The same thing with Oyo, about 182 beneficiaries graduated, they provided starter pack for them. And even in some other states where the state government could not provide starter pack, during the training, we normally take them through entrepreneurship skills training program. And they are taught, the business skills, how they will start their business.
So let me just hold you there. I'll come back to you. Okay. Our first caller tonight is Benjamin. Benjamin is calling from Abuja. Hello, Benjamin. You're on to Tuesday Live. Oh, we lost that call. Go ahead.
So during that entrepreneurship skills training, they are taught how to start their business, how to run, how to avoid business failure. And they are also encouraged to save from their little monthly stipend they are being given. So we discovered that some of them are even, before they finish the 9 months skills training, they are already buying some of their working tools, small basic working tools.
Good news. Is it possible state government, all that provides starter packs, and at the end of the ceremony, some of them will close shop and walk away?
No.
What is your follow-up mechanism?
We have what we call tracer study.
Tracer study?
Yes. Immediately they finish, like 6 months to 8 months, we go back. We follow them up. The state's S4J NDE team, they are on ground. These beneficiaries are located in the states, and the staff are there to go after them. They follow them up. We also attach them to their private sector operators to mentor them. We don't just leave them, to be on their own. So we conduct this tracer study after a few years, because the main outcome of this Skills for Job is that they will have increased earning at least 1 year on completion of the skills training. So we are all out to achieve that.
Okay. What's your update?
My update,
you have had graduates or did you also have starter packs provided by your state government?
Well, now, as I said earlier, we are just starting because they are on training now. But immediately as they finish their training, we are going to provide them, because our state is good, because the governor is so determined in our state to assist the less privileged as well as the most vulnerable and poor in the communities. So as for the provision of our starter packs, the government is ever ready to provide them with starter packs. In addition to that, those from the other component of YESO, from the PWF, the public workfare, those mined ones that was now benefiting, were all in, as I said earlier, labor intensive. They've been paying money, paid money. So the money they are being paid were utilized by them in getting things that they can do. Because as I am very much aware that...
Let me just hold you there.
Yeah.
We have another caller from Owerri, Imo State. Ogwaja. Ogwaja, you're on to Tuesday Live. Hello. Hello, Baja. But it seems the signals are not
Hello.
good. Okay, hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead.
My name is TuesdayLive. I come from TuesdayLive, State. I commend the youth-friendly Buhari government for the introduction of this new program. Yes, sir. And training and equipping our youth meaningfully and preoccupying them with useful activities and keeping them busy and by extension disabling their minds from social vices like armed robbery, kidnapping, terrorism, among the others. This an idle mind is a devil who shop that actually ready tools in the hands of specific certain elements like the insurgents and others. I know that thereby or to unleash mayhem in the lives of innocent Nigerians. This program is indeed most beautiful and excellent and should be actually distant from political, religious, ethnic and other pecuniary considerations as a yardstick for one to actually do for me. I, however, suggest that after training the youth, they should be given loans to enable them to establish on their own and become job creators instead of job seekers. I therefore encourage our youth not to see this new program as one of those government programs that can best be described as a two-step bulldog that can bark and never bite, but should, as a matter of fact, embrace it fully and have it as a rare and glaring opportunity for them to prove their mettle and make the best out of it to fend for themselves and make a living that will be a watershed and to be a watershed and make them earn a living, which will in turn potentially buy food for them to record homogeneous and unprecedented economic growth to become many Nigerians. Mr. President is encouraged to bring his anti-corruption satellite on the officers managing this program to ensure that those the IDPs who have to benefit from it because of their traumatized sociologically and psychologically by their present position, and the youth actually benefits much from this in order that at the end of the day they contribute their quota for the overall national development.
Thank you, Baja.
Finally, I advocate for the setting up.
Thank you so much. That's the most we can take from Ubaja. Well, let me, before I take on you, let me stay on the national coordinator. He talked about loans at the end of their program. Are loans provided? And he's talking about if these loans are provided, they will become job creators and not job seekers. Let me leave this to the two of you.
A point of correction.
Okay.
They are not going to be given loans, but they are going to be assisted with working tools and equipment, which is a form of grant.
What's the wisdom beyond this, behind this?
It's just for them to be self-employed. Eventually, they will become employers of labor. And at the end of the day, we will achieve our outcome, the result, which is increased earning after 1 year of completion of that training.
Okay.
And for them to be self-employed.
Yeah, let me also add that they are taught savings culture, and you know, encouraged to save as they are paid monthly stipends. As they are paid monthly stipends, they save. All the savings at the end of the day, you know, are used in buying things needed for them to start up certain businesses, and we are seeing that happen in the field.
Okay, so what Ubaja just said, are you saying that it's been addressed?
Oh yes, it's been addressed in Yesu. The beauty of this program, particularly Skills for Job, is that it is a comprehensive, complete package, you know, program, empowerment program. From the start to finish, the beneficiaries are being taken care of from one level to the other until they exit and are able to establish their businesses.
At what point do they exit?
So along that delivery chain, it is a complete program. They exit after they have acquired their certification, okay, and are given starter packs.
Okay.
That is
Let
when
me
they
take
exist.
on Boyega. What is the role of the state government, which is the host, and other partners?
Thank you very much. In Kwara State, the Kwara State government is very, very supportive to YESO. Yeso is one of the first pioneering 8 states. And immediately the state government key into Yeso, the state government provided a very conducive office accommodation for Yeso in Kwara State. Similarly, officers were deployed to Yeso. And in Kwara State, because of the seriousness the state government attaches to Yeso in Kwara State, the rate of turnover of staff is nil. It's nil. The dedicated staff are there since the beginning. So the state government is supporting, just my colleague said, the public welfare. The state government is provided fund for buying of stools for those people who are participating, beneficiaries of Skills for Job program in Kwara State. And they are spread across the 16 local government in Kwara State.
Okay, and lucky enough, a caller is also coming in now from Cross River State. Let's take Benjamin. Hello, Benjamin. You're on to Tuesday Live. Hello? Hello, Benjamin. Can you speak up? You're faint.
Hello, good evening. My name is Benjamin. I'm calling from.
Go ahead, we are hearing you. Go ahead.
Calling from Cross River State. I was in. Please, my name is Akan Benjamin.
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
My name is Akan Benjamin. I'm calling from Cross River State.
Go ahead, we are hearing you.
I was involved in the women and youth empowerment. Women and youth empowerment in Cross River State that was took up by World Bank. So I was invited. I was invited to the interview. I was called for interview, and when I went there, I was cleared. After the clearance, the person that was in charge of the state coordinator for World Bank told me that it has set a rule that my original result is not there. That I should go and bring my original certificate. For the SSC, that is SSC. I was using statement of results.
Are you done? Okay. Does that relate to what you're doing?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, because it's talking about women and youth empowerment program. Well, Benjamin, what we are discussing tonight is youth. Maybe you have to address it.
Yeah, youth employment and social support operations. What you talked about is in no way related to what we're doing, because there are catalog of programs.
Imagine Benjamin wants to join you now. How will he join? How does he get across to you? Maybe you tell him. He's listening to you.
Well, first and foremost is that luckily Cross River is one of the states. But unfortunately or fortunately is that all the interventions or the support under Yeso is, we use the social register or the URB. We mine beneficiaries from these registers. So people from outside these registers cannot be on our program for now. And the register, what makes up the register or the people on the register is determined by the community members themselves.
Okay.
And we try as much as possible to make it, error-proof, or, the leakages are all, taken care of, and, there is no going in or, sneaking in of names or anything.
Okay, our first leg tonight on Tuesday Live is gains on youth employment and development in Nigeria, and we'll soon take a couple of tweets. We have a couple of tweets now, and the first tweet, if you are ready, is coming from Honorable Abuja at Abuja. It says, which criteria are they using in ensuring that 90% of the beneficiaries are the children of nobody? Because I have seen different intervention programs like that being hijacked by children of the elites and top politicians.
Yeah. Like we have said, the register is being done, is determined by the community members, and we have skilled and trained facilitators that guide them in undertaking that. We have the GRM mechanism, grievance redress mechanism, that allows people who have complaints or have disagreements as to the credibility of such a register to come up and tell us where the problems are, and we look and interrogate such registers, and we have quite a lot of, controls that ensures that no one outside the decision of the communities come onto such register. That is.
Well, let me take the state operations now. Abuja gas concern. Do you have cases like that where children of the elites hijack? Well, this is meant for the children of the nobodies.
Well, as the national acting national coordinator has rightly said, there is no room for hijacking of this register, because at the point of establishment of the register, there are a lot of processes, and the process is dictated by the communities, and even after the registration is met, it has to follow through a lot of processes from the national office to the World Bank, because it has to be cleared.
Okay, let's quickly take the second tweet.
Yeah.
It's coming from Olalekon. Hello, good evening. YESO is a good program. I will advise if the state governments can make startup packages available immediately after the program. Let me leave that to you to take. Then the next one from, let's take that.
Okay. As a part of improvement on the first cycle, we have decided to provide starter pack for everyone using the...
By NDE or by the state governments?
By the federal government.
Federal government,
yes,
okay.
We are no longer relying on the state government.
What if you provide and the state government insists they want to complement?
Good.
It's fine.
The better.
That's what he's talking about.
The better.
That is what we want.
The better. If we can collaborate with the state government, the federal government will provide, the state government will provide those that we couldn't provide, it's going to be fine.
So his concerns are addressed?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take the next tweet. The next tweet is coming from Kemco080, Kori Mustafa. It is a well-conceived program. Barzana, thanks for being the state coordinator, because we in Borno State know you for your honesty and upright. God bless all of you.
Thank you.
So what do you say to that?
Well, I thank her, because we're just trying our best to, it's a service to humanity and to our people.
I'm sure it's coming from Borno State.
It's coming from Borno. Borno being one of the most devastated in terms of, crisis, deserves to be considered for a lot of interventions by so many other agencies. So YESO, when it came, in fact, as I said earlier, IDPs, people who are chased out of their communities, they are all quarantined in camps. Some that were privileged were in host communities, and all sorts of livelihoods were destroyed. So YESO became the only alternative for building livelihood again. And if you could remember, Mr. President is so much keen on the reduction of poverty, on fighting corruption, and on getting, our youth employed. So when we started, definitely, when the other caller asked, particularly on the, hijacking of the sons of this, no, this cannot happen, because YESO is only meant for the poor and the vulnerable, and for those that are displaced. So there is no way, as coordinators or as workers in YESO operation offices, for us to be, putting in names or for politicians or government functionaries to influence us, by means of an elite capture. This cannot happen.
Let me now take on the national coordinator. Now, given the concern raised by Benjamin from Cross River State, if we have people like him who do not understand what you're doing, you talked about the fact that this program is ongoing.
Yes.
If a youth or any Nigerian who falls within this bracket wants to enroll, How does a person come on board?
No, YESO is meant for only people that are on the single register, for the poor
How
and the
do they get to
vulnerable.
the single register?
They can only get to the single register if CBT exercise comes to their community and their community have identified them as poor and vulnerable households and want to put them on the register. Apart from getting the list from the community, we train enumerators using a well thought out checklist. That has all the socioeconomic indices, related to poverty and related
I hope
to...
Nigerians are aware of this criteria.
Yes. So enumerators visit...
They are aware.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, let's take this tweet. This tweet, before the time lapse for the segment, is coming from Noski AU. Most of the intervention programs coming to a state end up staying in the urban areas, leaving out the people in the rural areas. I hope this is not the case of this program. That's for you. Now, the next one is from Salvatore Piccolo. When does the project close, and what are the plans after the intervention closes in terms of sustainability? The focus should be more on enabling business environment for youths rather than just starter packs that may not yield positive results. Open. Let me leave it to you. Starter.
Yes.
The
approach of YESO is community driven, and
bottom up.
Bottom up, and like he has said, we use a poverty map to determine which poorest local government are we going to start from, and which poorest communities are we going to start from. Eventually, all the country will be covered. We'll have single register in each of the communities, but we have to start from somewhere because we don't have the manpower and the resources to go all at once. So that is the way we have started, being that poverty is more pervasive at the community level. So that is where our registers, start from.
Okay.
Yes. And to even say that the federal government has embraced and has recognized YESO as a pioneer in terms of establishing the single register through the CBT mechanism, has adopted the same process, replicating the same process in other states that are non-YESO states. And to also tell you that the national cash transfer, when it took off, it started with states that already have registers under the YESO program.
Okay. Let me allow you to address the issue of the concern raised by the last tweet on starter packs.
In addition to providing starter pack, we don't intend to abandon them. I said it earlier on. They are going to be mentored. ND, National Directorate of Employment, is going to be concerned about them. They will provide supportive extension services to them. And this follow-up is on a continuous basis.
Okay.
So we are going to...
Your last word?
We have a new Ministry of Humanitarian Services. And YESO is all about humanitarian, services. So though the closure is approaching, but still our states will never abandon the project because we have seen its benefits and our people have already started now enjoying the benefits of the interventions that is now going on in our states.
Okay.
Thank you very much. September 3rd and 4th, the World Bank team was in Kwara State, led by Professor Foluso Kumadewa, that is YESO task team leader. And they met with my governor. I was there. And the TTA praised YESO. And the governor promised that YESO will be supported by the Kwara State government. I was there.
Okay. Let me leave it. Okay. Before, sentence.
You see the issue raised by Cross River State guy. Just as I said that poverty mapping, when we get to the community will give you that these people cannot pay school fees, these people cannot go to the hospital. Those are the people they started with, the poorest of the poor.
Okay.
So if it's in that community and it's from the poor family, and they identify his family and it's registered, ND will pick him.
Okay, thank you. Now, just one sentence before you sign off. Now, this last tweet says, how do you select training facilities or facilitators for your training? That's just a tweet. It came from Jude Nkoro. But quickly, are there prospects that will renew this project?
Yes, because state governors are beginning to see the dividends of YESO, and they are asking. They've been visiting the World Bank saying that this program is a program that we have all been yearning for.
Yes.
This program is a program that actually is relevant to the existing
So as
social
national coordinator,
and
if you're asked, should we stop or continue? What will you say? One word.
definitely it has to continue. Definitely.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. How time flies.
Oh, yes.
For this segment of the program, that's the much we can take. And for those who called in, we thank you so much. And those who called and we cannot take your calls, well, it's really unfortunate beyond us. And it was on gains of youth employment and development through YESO in Nigeria. When we return on the next segment of the program, we will be looking at tackling security challenges in Kogi State. But quickly, thank you so much, Mrs. Haja Sami, National Coordinator YESO, Mrs. Roslyn Sylvia Olaomi, Focal Person Skills for Job, National Director of Employment, and Zanna Hassan Boguma, State Coordinator, State Operations and Coordinating Unit, Borno State.
Thank you.
Adegboyega Adetukun, State Coordinator, State Operations and Coordinating Unit, Kwara State.
Thank you very much.
The Tuesday Live continues shortly, and our focus next is tackling security challenges in Kogi State. Don't go away.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped